winner of the New Jersey Press Association's Most Innovative Award.
Welcome back to Greater Media Broadcast News. I'm Susie Shea, bringing you the top headlines in Central New Jersey. Here's what's going on in your neighborhood. Solitary confinement, empowering women, regulating weapons, season of sweets, and Glee in the Garden State. The search for effective alternatives to solitary confinement in prisons has spurred a partnership between a nonprofit and 5 correctional facilities, including the Middlesex County Adult Correction Center. The facility was chosen from 14 applicants to partner with the Vera Institute of Justice, a nonprofit that works to improve the justice system. The goal is to reduce reliance on solitary confinement, which some experts say not only fails to reduce violence in prisons, but also has profound psychological effects on prisoners and carries a significant financial cost. Alternatives to this method include restricting commissary access and reducing outdoor time. A year-long study will be conducted, and the recommendations are expected to be implemented after it is finalized. To find out more about the partnership, see your Greater Media newspaper today. And here's Mark Rosman with more headlines.
2 developers who have concepts for mixed-use projects on Route 33 in Manalapan are expected to present their plans to elected officials and members of the public during a community meeting at 7 p.m. April 8th in Town Hall. Township Committee members have said 5 or 6 developers and Route 33 property owners have already met privately with municipal representatives to unveil their plans. The development of the Route 33 corridor has been an ongoing topic of discussion in Manalapan, and the Planning Board has been asked to examine the issue. Mayor Jack McNaboe said he does not see a downside in allowing developers or property owners to present their plans to the public in an informal setting. No formal action will be taken at the April 8th meeting. Committee members said developers who want to propose residential projects on Route 33 may be invited to do so at a subsequent public meeting.
The clock has stopped on the Port Ambrose proposal. Here's Adam Ijako with the latest developments.
The proposed liquefied natural gas facility known as Port Ambrose was indefinitely stop-clocked by federal officials last week. The facility, which is proposed offshore of Sandy Hook and Long Branch, has resulted in an outcry from local environmentalist organizations. In a letter to Liberty Natural Gas Chief Operating Officer Jason Goldstein, representatives of the U.S. Coast Guard and Maritime Administration cited immense public interest and ongoing analyses of environmental impacts and financial requirements for the suspension of the timeline. According to officials, stop clocks are normal parts of the application process, but environmentalists said they were encouraged by the impact that the public comment period had. The next step will be to issue a final environmental impact statement. That report will be followed by a series of public hearings throughout New York and New Jersey. Following the public hearings, Governor Andrew Cuomo and Governor Chris Christie would have the option to veto the entire project. Barring a veto, the Maritime Administration would then approve, deny, or conditionally approve the proposal. For more on Port Ambrose and the federal stop clock, see your local Greater Media newspaper.
And here are the headlines you need to know. Governor Chris Christie has signed 2 bills into law that will regulate the flow of surplus military equipment from the federal government to local police departments. The bills give the state attorney general and local municipalities a level of oversight whenever local agencies attempt to acquire military-grade weaponry and vehicles from the Department of Defense. FEMA has announced plans to set up a review process for residents who believe they were inadequately compensated by flood insurance companies and the National Flood Insurance Program. But in some cases, adjustments to insurance payouts could require some residents to return money received through other programs funded by federal grants. We've all seen the deer crossing signs around the area, but in Spotswood, they have a sign cautioning drivers to avoid a different species, the salamander. Each year, Beekman Road is closed off to motorists on occasion in March when salamanders, frogs, and other amphibians make the trek to the other side. A recent conference was filled with female empowerment. More than 400 people participated in the South Brunswick Commission on Women's annual leadership summit last week. The keynote speaker was South Brunswick native Tammy Tibbetts, who founded She's the First, a nonprofit that sponsors girls' education in developing countries. And here's Mike Pavlichko of Greater Media's WCTC with an update on Rutgers sports. After that, we have Tim Morris with more on the local sports scene.
Well, I'm inside High Point Solutions Stadium, where in the adjacent Hale Center and the fields across the way, Rutgers football spring practice is underway, an important time of year for player development, particularly those who will replace graduated starters. Hard to believe Rutgers head football coach Kyle Flood is going to be entering his 4th season this fall, and his primary question is an old one, but also kind of a new one. It's who will be the starting quarterback. Now, that's been a battle in several recent years, but this year, none of the players has any significant college playing experience. There's sophomore Chris Laviano, who played in parts of 5 games last year, and there's also Hayden Rettig, the transfer from LSU, who impressed during bowl prep.
Chris will go out there for the first snap. Will they both get reps with the ones over time? They will. Will they be equal? They probably won't be equal any practice. You know, some days one guy could get more, some days another guy could get more. A little bit of that for the players who've never played. You know, a guy like Hayden, a guy like Gio, it's going to be a little bit dependent on how fast they can come along.
At running back, there's a wealth of experience, even though Paul James will be limited in spring practice as he recovers from a torn ACL.
So I see it as a group of players that are really talented and one of the more talented rooms in our building, and we're fortunate to have the numbers that we do. Really, in terms of how they're listed, it's really just by production, and it's a starting point. All of them will play with the first team and the second team, and they're going to get as many opportunities as we can have in practice when you only have really 10 offensive linemen that can go.
Much of the defense is back, but generally speaking, this could be a very different Rutgers team personnel-wise than you saw last year in its inaugural Big Ten campaign. I'm Mike Pavlichko on 1450 WCTC and WCTCAM.com. I'll see you in a couple of weeks after the spring game.
It's spring and only natural to turn our attention to the baseball or softball diamond, anticipating opening day in warmer weather. But they now have company. There is another sport that has become very popular in our area, and that's lacrosse. More and more high school teams are fielding varsity boys and girls teams as participation increases each year.
Shore Regional wearing white and Allentown in red are 2 of Central Jersey's powerhouses in girls lacrosse. They had a final tune-up in West Long Branch before they started keeping track of score for good. The severe March weather prevented teams from getting outside on their playing fields as often as they would like, and both teams showed some rust in this scrimmage game. Passes didn't always click, but the action still went from end to end. The team showed their class by still being able to run their set plays and finishing. This is Tim Morris for Greater Media Newspapers.
It's springtime, which means it's the season of showers, sprouts, and sweets. Here's Taylor Lear.
New Jersey candy factories are discovering new ways to sweeten up the spring holidays. As shoppers buy all the items they need to make their holiday special, several candy factory owners are coming out with new, innovative ways to get customers more inclined with the world of chocolate. Places like Burn Chocolates, Old Monmouth Candies, David Bradley Chocolatier, and Two Chicks with Chocolate are instrumental in making sure everyone's spring holiday this year has a bit more of a unique touch than just your standard chocolate bunny. With peanut brittle, chocolate turtles, a very special bacon bunny, and a line of spicy chocolate, these candy factories are not only learning how to invent new things with chocolate, but making sure their customers have a more fun experience. For more on how to satisfy your sweet tooth this holiday season, check your local paper this week.
If you miss seeing Sue Sylvester on Glee, don't worry. Actress Jane Lynch will be singing and dancing her way to the Jersey Shore. Here's Jeremy Grispin.
You know her and you love her. On April 23rd, Glee star Jane Lynch is coming to the Jersey Shore. Coming off her 6-year run on Glee, Lynch is bringing her cabaret show, See Jane Sing, Broadway with a Twist, to the Count Basie Theater in Red Bank. The Chicago native said she's never been to the Jersey Shore. All she knows is Bruce Springsteen, but she said she's heard great things about the Count Basie. Although Lynch has a strong background in theater, she's mostly known for her roles in film and TV. But after making her Broadway debut as Miss Hannigan in the 2013 revival of Annie, Lynch said her love for the stage was reinvigorated. To learn more about Jane Lynch and her trip to Red Bank, visit gmnews.com.
For more in-depth coverage and additional stories, see your Greater Media newspaper today. Keep up with the latest headlines by liking us on facebook.com/Greater Media Broadcast News or following us on Twitter at GMedia News. I'm Susie Shea. See you next time.